Hi there, and welcome to my weekly vlog. Wow, what a ride! Wow, what a ride! I'll tell you, I think I want to talk today about longevity. What does that mean? It means that on Friday, I usually do we have a Friday afternoon, 4:30. Um, what's new and coming up with lipedema. And I missed it this past Friday, mostly because I was just, um, so Friday, my aunt, it was my aunt's birthday. And this was a big deal because she turned 100 years old. 100 years old. I'm used to seeing those um, announcements on the news, so and so is 102 or 100, and it's just remarkable. Um, but so on my mother's side, there were five siblings. My mother was the middle of five, and so there were um, there were there was my mother and her four siblings and their spouses, and all of them have passed away except for this one aunt. Oh, thanks, Jenny. Jenny is saying hi, that she hoped the party went well. Well, I'm here to talk a little bit about the party. Uh, Yawn. It's Sunday here, and it's just after 5 p.m. And it's been a good day. Um, Dr. Carmody and I did um, a webinar. We did our Lipedema 101 webinar. It was wonderful. God, every time we do it, first of all, um, we get a lot of new people. So it's good that people are finding out about lipedema. But let me go both with my aunt and Dr. Carmody both. Because so my aunts, that my cousins, who I happen to really like, um, um, they are wonderful people. But my aunt turned 100. Her birthday was on Friday, and she was 100 years old. And all of the others have passed away. So she was the wife of my mother's brother. So that's how she was my aunt. And additionally, so it's kind of interesting. So they were all second generation Italian, first of all. Amazing cooks. All of them, amazing cooks. But in the whole process of, you know, so my grandparents came from Italy, and I heard all kinds of stories about where they came from. They came from Italy, the boot. there is the Adriatic Sea and a town on the sea called Pescara, and they were from a village um, inland a certain distance. I don't know exactly how. Called penne, like the pasta. Penne. Hi, Julie. Julie. Julie's coming in from Camarillo, California, where it's 79 degrees. It's mostly always beautiful in Camarillo, California. And so I just was, I think it's raining here. Just started to hear the rain. Anyway, so when they came over from Italy, and then they all had their kids. So my parents and my mother's siblings all, I think, pretty much were born here. They were all born here. And but there was still so much tradition from the old country. And I can remember going to Italy. I've been to Italy several times, and I can remember going. And when I went the first time, I did a retreat in northern Italy, and I was at a villa there, but spent time in Milan and some of the Lake Como region and walking, and it was like I had seen it all before. There were so many things that I remembered from my childhood that I was seeing in Italy that I had not seen since I was a young kid. So, hi, Sue from Pennsylvania. I'm wondering if anyone else. I'm wondering if anyone else has had an experience like this. Give me 1 second. Okay, I think that might work. I think that might work. Oh my God, let me know. Can you hear me now? The phone rang and I think it disconnected my microphone. Yay. All right. So I'm going to now consider this the, because I was talking about something that I have a lot of um, reflections on, which is family and community. And um, first of all, I absolutely love our community. I feel so blessed by each one of you. Still is remarkable to me that you all keep showing up on Sundays and I keep reflecting and we keep reflecting together because oftentimes it continues throughout the week. Um, Yay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, so growing up, having, um, and I think this is very much a part of when you immigrate, a, a particular culture will gather in the same places. So that whole generation lived in the east part of Boston. So I grew up in Boston. And there were several areas in Boston that were Italian. There still is. The north end of Boston has the best Italian restaurants in the city. And you always can tell because of the food that crops up. There's a whole area that's Chinatown. Wonderful. Um, Not only restaurants, but all things from China. And it's been a long time since I've been there, but the same with the north end of Boston. Um, it is amazing Italian restaurants and cafes and churches and parks. So it was a kind of fascinating thing to go to this party on Friday night. That was for my aunt who had just turned 100 years old. She's in great shape. And then to think of all of the other aunts and uncles who have all passed away in their 80s. I think I was trying to remember. A couple of them, I think, made it into their 90s. And my Aunt Anna is feisty. Oh, and I I don't have a walker. I have a rollator, thanks to someone in the community, Anita, who said, "Here, get this." And she was so right. It's perfect. It's very small. It's very light. Hi, Marilee. And easy to maneuver. But I thought, well, here's the thing. I thought some of my mobility issues were due to age. I'm 76 years old. So I'm like, it's not aging. It is directly the result of my lipedema and lymphedema. Isn't that amazing? It's not having to do with the fact that I'm so old. And old is very relative, given that my aunt's 100 years old and I was with my cousins who were all around my age, but going from 76 to probably 80, 82, down to 60, late 60s. So the whole range of us. And thinking about, again, I said I was talking about longevity and what it means um, to age and what it means to age well and what it means to age with a chronic disease. I forget. Now, how can I forget that I have lipedema and lymphedema since I'm talking about it all the time and I'm constantly doing something for myself, for the community, for what we're doing. And so it takes a community, whether it's family, whether it's our community, which I consider like family. And that's what it seems to take. And I think to myself, what would life be like? I can't even imagine it without this community. So, so again, I think I repeat myself again and again and again. I think I only have a dozen messages. Um, I'm going to sit down and map it out at some point. But one of my biggest messages is incredible gratitude. Just gratitude for being able to come here to talk about the things that so many other people don't get an opportunity to talk about, like my mobility. Like a number of us I know have mobility issues. It's not from aging. What a big revelation. It is definitely having to do with the fact that I have lipedema. And as I've aged, it in some ways, it has affected me more. Oh my goodness. Um, so, how are you? Marilee says the same thing. Her mobility problems are all related to lipedema. Let me tell you, that is like such a revelation to me. Again, when I first discovered lipedema, I started to go, oh my God, it's not my fault. You mean it's not my fault? I thought it was all my fault. The same with having mobility issues. There's a part of me that has been thinking it's something that I'm doing. I'm getting older. I've gained weight from being so sick with my lymphatic system, the obstruction in the lymphatic flow and the occlusion in my thoracic duct and surgeries and all kinds of crazy things. But all of it's contributed to um, what's going on. And so, long version of I'm definitely on my way to using the pool again. And someone was talking recently. I'm doing a coaching group, which has been absolutely wonderful. And I've loved doing it. I'm going to offer more of them because they're just so powerful. But people have had such breakthroughs. And every time someone has a breakthrough, I get inspired. Sue says, I am constantly aware of my lipedema and how it's limited my mobility. I'm very different, less mobile than friends my age. This is, this is a good conversation to be having. Again, I ascribed my limiting mobility to getting older. And then I saw some of my cousins who are older than me, and they don't have the same kind of mobility issues. So then well, maybe it's not the aging part. Maybe it's directly related to lipedema. And again, it's the same thing. It really isn't my fault. Um, so, aging and longevity. We are going to be adding some new things to Tribe. We'll be talking about it soon, but I want you to know that we're looking at the entire process around aging. And we're looking at what we need. Now, Jenny says her mobility issues are Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, EDS, now complicated by my diagnosis of lipedema. But I'm so grateful to have found Lipedema Simplified and the support I have had. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Thank God for our community. It truly, truly makes a difference. So, I want to do one thing, which is I want to remind people. Give me 1 second. I'm just getting a link. I want to remind people that the Congress is coming up in 2 weekends, which means really quick. I am going to share my screen and say, here we are, our Heart-to-Heart Congress, Principles and Practice of Diagnosis and Treatment. You've heard me talk about this, I think, every week. There's a video of Leslin and I talking about it. But it's based on the book that's coming out. This is our book. This is the table of contents. I'll let you go to it yourself. And our speakers, our staff, Leslin, Siobhan, myself, Dr. Roxon, keynote speaker, and authors all from our book. All of these. Cindy and Akanksha will do some stretching and yoga with us. And Julie and Esther are two of our mentors and lipedema patients and advocates. So, Dr. Faber, Dr. Carmody, Dr. Shingali, Dr. Dudek, Dr. Rahman, Cheyenne, Dr. Dobbins, Dr. Campisi, Dr. Michelini, Rachel Hayun, who is from the lab of Dr. McLaughlin at Stanford, Bill Rapisi, who's the president and CEO of Learn. It's going to be a fabulous conference. We're going to be hearing the latest and greatest of the research that's being done around lipedema. And this is the first medical textbook for lipedema, which is thrilling. And it will be out. We'll be talking about it all. All of it's at the publisher getting published. And so it will be out in February, or that's what we have at this point. So, If you haven't already, sign up. Oh, this is wonderful, Michelle. I'm so glad you're going to be there. She's coming both as a patient and a nurse practitioner who has a passion to educate others. Great. After the Congress, please get in touch with me. Maybe we can set up a webinar for you to give to the community. All right, everyone. I put the link in. Here's the link. learn.lipedema-simplified.org/lipedema-lymphedema-event. So be sure that you register, and thank you. It's a little rocky today because I lost the sound for a while. So thanks for hanging in there with me, and I will see you here next week, but not the week after, because the week after is going to be our Congress. So much love, blessings. Have a wonderful week, rest of the weekend, and week coming up.